Every scene you're seeing was created using Google Flow Storyboard Studio. The character stays consistent from beginning to end, even though the locations, outfit, camera angles, and actions are completely different. The best part is that everything follows one simple workflow, and by the end of this tutorial, you know exactly how to create videos like this yourself. Keeping an AI character consistent sounds easy, but this is where most people run into problems. Have you ever spent time creating the perfect AI character only to see everything fall apart in the next scene? The first image looks exactly how you imagined it. The face is right, the hairstyle looks great, and you're happy with the result. Then you generate another scene and suddenly it feels like you're looking at someone else. The face changes, the hairstyle is different, and after a few more scenes, your character doesn't even look related to the first one anymore. The good news is that this is not a problem with the AI itself. Most of the time, it comes down to the workflow you are using. In this tutorial, I'll show you the exact process I use to create consistent AI characters from start to finish. Once you understand this workflow, you spend less time fixing characters and more time creating high-quality AI videos. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is open Google Flow. Open your browser and search for Google Flow. Click the first result, then sign in with your Google account. If this is your first time using the platform, your dashboard will probably be empty, and that's completely normal. Once you've signed in, click New Project to create a fresh workspace. This is where we build our entire video from beginning to end. Next, look over to the left side of the screen and click Tools. Scroll through the available options until you find Storyboard Studio, then click to open it. Before entering the workspace, Google Flow will ask you to choose a visual style. Since I want my video to have a realistic cinematic look, I'm going to choose this one. Realistic. You can choose a different style if it better matches your project, but for this tutorial, realistic works perfectly. Once you've selected your style, click Get Started. Inside Storyboard Studio, you notice three main sections we'll be working with: Script, Assets, and Storyboard. Each section plays an important role, and by the end of this tutorial, you know exactly how they work together. We'll begin with the script section because that's where every project starts. The script section is where you turn your idea into a complete story. If you're using your own script, simply paste it into the text box and continue from there. If you don't have one, I've created a powerful master prompt that can generate a complete screenplay in just a few seconds. You'll find it at the end of this video, so make sure you watch until the end. Now, I'll paste the master prompt into the script section and click Generate. Within a few seconds, Google Flow creates a complete screenplay based on your idea. It generates a title, narration, scene-by-scene descriptions, character details, and a complete storyline from beginning to end. The scene descriptions are especially important because you use them later to create our storyboard and animate each scene into a video. Take a moment to review the script. If there is anything you'd like to change, simply type your instructions into the chat box and click Generate again. Flow will update the script while keeping the story consistent. Since I'm happy with the results, I won't be making any further changes, so I'll leave everything as it is. With the screenplay complete, we are ready to move on to the next step. Next, head over to the Assets tab. This is where Flow creates all the visual elements for your project, including your characters, locations, and props. Let's start with the characters. Click Autofill Characters. Flow will scan your screenplay and automatically generate all the main characters based on your script. Once the characters are ready, review each one carefully. If anything doesn't look right, update the description and generate it again until you are happy with the results. Getting your characters right at this stage will make it much easier to keep them consistent throughout your project. Next, scroll down to the location sections and click Autofill. Flow will identify every location in your screenplay and generate them automatically. Review each one, and if anything doesn't look right, update the description and generate it again until you are happy with the results. After that, do the same thing for props. Click Octofill and Google Flow will generate the object based on your script. Once everything has been generated, take a moment to review your characters, locations, and props. If anything doesn't look right, simply update the description and generate it again. With all your assets in place, we are ready for the next step. Click on the Storyboard tab. This is where your story starts coming to life. Instead of creating every scene manually, Google Flow uses the script and assets you've already generated to build a complete visual storyboard for your project. Before generating your scenes, make sure to save your storyboard progress. Flow doesn't save your work automatically, so it's a good idea to save your project. You can also choose how many frames you want for each scene. For this tutorial, I'll use 3 frames per scene, but you can adjust the number to fit your story. Next, click Autofill Scene to generate your first storyboard scene. Depending on the length of your screenplay, you may need to scroll down and click Autofill Scenes again until every scene has been generated. Flow automatically uses the characters, locations, and props you've already created, making it much easier to keep everything consistent throughout your storyboard. Look at that. The results look amazing. The images look so realistic, and every frame has a cinematic feel. If you don't like any of the images, simply open the scene, update the description if needed, and create it again until you are happy with the results. Once all your scenes are ready, take a few minutes to go through the entire storyboard from beginning to end. Taking a little extra time to review your storyboard now can save you a lot of time later when you start generating your videos. This is honestly one of the best AI storyboard tools I've used. The fact that it can turn an entire screenplay into high-quality cinematic storyboard images in just a few minutes is incredibly impressive. If your goal is to create a comic, slideshow, or illustrated story, you can stop here. Simply download your storyboard images and you're ready to go. Since we're creating a cinematic AI film, let's continue to the next step. With our storyboard complete, it's time to turn each scene into a cinematic video. Before creating the video, we first need to prepare the prompts for each scene. Go to ChatGpt and paste in the video prompt. You'll find it at the end of this video, so make sure you watch until the end to get your copy. Next, return to Google Flow, open the script section, and copy the entire screenplay. Paste the screenplay below the video prompt in ChatGPT and click Submit. Within a few seconds, ChatGPT will create a separate video prompt for every scene. This saves a lot of time and helps keep your characters, dialogue, and camera movement consistent throughout the film. Copy the video prompt for scene 1 and go back to Google Flow and open all media and locate the images for scene 1. Select the first image, then click Add to Prompt. Repeat the same step for the remaining images in that scene until you've added all the frames you want to animate. After adding the images, switch to the video workspace. Your selected images will already be there. For this tutorial, I'll use Omni Flash because it's fast, affordable, and produces excellent cinematic results. Before you continue, make sure the aspect ratio is set to 16:9. If you're creating videos for YouTube, paste in the prompt for ChatGPT into the prompt box, give the prompt one final review, then click Generate. After a few moments, Flow will turn your storyboard images into a smooth 10-second cinematic video. Watch the preview carefully. If there is anything you'd like to improve, make a small adjustment to the prompt and generate it again until you are happy with the results. Repeat the same process for the remaining scenes until your entire storyboard has been transformed into a cinematic video clips. And just like that, you've turned a simple screenplay into a complete cinematic AI video. You can also add a voiceover if you like, but for this tutorial, I'll leave the video as it is. With all your video clips ready, we are now ready for the final step. This is where we put everything together into one finished video. Download all your video clips from Google Flow, then import them into CapCut. You can use any video editor you prefer, but I'll be using CapCut because it's simple, beginner-friendly, and has everything we need for this project. Drag all your clips onto the timeline and arrange them in the correct order. Play through the project and trim each clip so it matches the narration. This helps the story flow smoothly from one scene to the next. One thing I always pay attention to is the pacing. If a scene stays on screen for too long, the video can start to feel slow. On the other hand, if you cut too quickly, viewers won't have enough time to enjoy the visuals. Next, add your background music and lower the volume so it doesn't compete with the voiceover. You can also add a few sound effects to make a certain moment feel more immersive, but don't overdo it. Sometimes simple edits create the best results. Before exporting, watch the entire video from beginning to end. This is your final chance to catch anything you may have missed. Make sure the transitions are smooth, the timing matches your narration, and your characters remain consistent throughout the film. Once everything looks good, export your project using your preferred settings, and your video is ready to publish. As you can see, creating consistent AI characters doesn't have to be complicated. Once you follow the right workflow, the entire process becomes much easier. Start by generating your screenplay, then create your characters, locations, and props before turning the screenplay into a complete visual storyboard. Once your storyboard is ready, use Omni Flash to animate each scene into a cinematic video. Finally, edit everything together in CapCut to create a finished film with consistent characters, locations, and visuals from beginning to end. As promised, it's time for the prompt. If you like a copy of all the prompts used in this tutorial, simply comment prompts below and I'll send them to you. You also find links to all the tools used in this tutorial, including Google Flow, ChatGpt, and CapCut in the description below. Now is your turn. Put what you've learned into practice. Start creating and keep experimenting. The more videos you make, the better your results will become. If this tutorial helped you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more Google Flow tutorials and AI filmmaking content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.